What's up, everybody? Welcome back inside the Woody Hayes Athletic Center after Ohio State Pro Day. This is a practice report, I guess, Pro Day report if you want to call it, presented by Buyers Auto. That's the 40-year vet Tim May. That's Andy Backstrom. Fellas, a lot to learn from Pro Day. CJ Stroud put on a show. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba put on even more of a show. A couple guys ran pretty impressive times. I know Tanner McAllister clocked in at 4.4. It's really great for him. Didn't get an invite to that combine. Felt a little slighted by that. We'll have more on that at lettermenrow.com. But Tim, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right to it. Your biggest impression, biggest takeaway as NFL scouts, GMs, personnel flooded this building to watch CJ Stroud throw the football.
That he stepped up, and it's kind of like going to a concert and you hope the band's hot. You know, the band you paid a lot of good money to see and watch, and do they deliver the hit songs? And he definitely did that. So did Jackson Smith-Njigba in my mind. I don't remember what Jackson supposedly ran in the 40, but I think it was
4.53.
Yeah, 4.53. He was hoping to get in the 4.4s. He said he's done that in training and stuff. Obviously, he ran 140, and that was it. You know, if you didn't get it, you didn't get it, because why push that wheel? But we all know what he brings to the table, and I think he showed it out here. I'm talking about Jackson Smith-Njigba, is that he can run any route you want him to run and probably get wide open, as Ryan Day basically pointed out in the post-workout. But the two guys I was really curious about seeing rise to the occasion, because we can talk about the other guys in a minute, because I think this was a pretty damn good workout for almost everybody concerned today. But CJ Stroud to Jackson Smith-Njigba, it was worth the price of admission, which, by the way, I got in free.
Yeah, with Jackson, I think the thing is that his long distance has always been the concern, if there's any concern. But I think 4.53 is a pretty solid time. And then when you look at his three-cone and his 20-yard shuttle, which he led all wide receivers, not only this year but last year as well, that participated in the combine, I think that's enough to kind of sell you on, okay, this is a guy that can get open. And if you look at what he does after the catch, I mean, the film really says it all. I know it's a cliche in this sport, but it really does. But I think some of the defensive players showed out too. Zach Harrison, I thought had a great workout, and he's someone that didn't run the 40 and maybe, could have, but he said just for his own reasons didn't. But I thought he looked good moving, and then the bag drills, pass rushing drills, and so he was impressive to me.
Yeah, I don't think Zach Harrison's speed is a question at all. You can find video of him chasing guys down, etc. I mean, he moves extremely well. And when I was talking to him afterwards, I mean, his best football clearly is ahead of him. I mean, he is, like, everybody comes along at different speeds, and he's one of those guys that has slowly but surely come along since he got to Ohio State with great expectations. I think, 5 years from now, I think he could be a real star in the National Football League.
I think the most impressive thing to me about the day was, like, okay, Tim, we've been here for a lot of pro days. I don't know if I've ever seen that many scouts and personnel in one place. I think the Carolina Panthers moved their entire headquarters up here for a day. The amount of people who were here from the Panthers. I think they were looking at, a couple of those late round guys maybe that they could grab. I don't know, maybe CJ Stroud, but
yeah, they had dinner with him last night, so
just the sheer amount of craziness that came with. It was almost like a circus, but it was like an organized circus. The amount of personnel that was here was off the charts. I don't know if we'll see a pro day like that again. Just all eyes on CJ Stroud. Like you said, Tim, he delivered. The receivers were good. I thought Marvin Harrison kind of showcased himself as maybe another springboard toward next spring in the draft. Some of these other guys that could have helped their draft stock for the future, catching passes from CJ Stroud. I just thought it was a great day for the program overall. Now, I'm not going to nitpick on who did what really well. Did Paris Johnson's footwork look good in his drills? Should DeJuan Jones have worked out? I don't know. I just think that when you have the narrative around Ohio State right now and the back-to-back losses to Michigan and not winning the national championship this year, to have a day like today, it kind of puts it into perspective of like, okay, like this program is still probably where it should be.
Elite.
It is still, yes, Tim, absolutely elite, Andy. I think it kind of showcased that with everybody that was here today.
Absolutely, in terms of, especially in terms of producing NFL players and the talent that goes to the next level, which is a recruiting ploy in itself. You can kind of use that if you're Ryan Day or any of these assistant coaches to say, hey, if you want to be there, you should come here and do that. And Paris Johnson's a great example of that. He wanted to be in the league like all these guys do, but he had a plan. He came in, wanted to do it in 3 years, and not only get to that point in a football career, but also got his degree. And he just was very, meticulous in that plan. And I think that's a good kind of example of these guys that come in here and they know what they can get out of Ohio State, not only football-wise, but academically and hand in hand.
Well, and Tim, I'm going to set you up for something, I promise. But like, even a guy like Tanner McAllister, who I spent some time with after practice, and Cameron Brown, who didn't get to work out at the combine, some of these other guys, like Tanner McAllister, again, did not get an invite to the combine and comes out here 22 on the bench press, 4'4", 30.
I thought that was a slight because of what he did at Oklahoma State and then stepped right into Ohio State. But now he had some down moments last year, but he also had some big up moments last year. But go ahead, you're right.
4'4" in the 40, 22 reps on the bench press, 37 vertical, 10.3 or 10.9, I can't remember, broad jump. He and I were talking about it a little bit. Those are numbers
long.
Those are numbers that would have.
Video of it.
Those are numbers that would have blown people away at the combine. He would have been one of the stories of the. And he didn't get an invite.
Yeah.
And there were people at the Hula Bowl down in Orlando who said, like, wait, we're not going to see you at the combine? Why? I didn't get an invite.
Yeah.
So, like, this is a program-wide day. It's not just to watch C.J. Stroud throw nukes out here and go, wow, he can throw the football far. We already knew that.
Yeah, but it's expensive for them to give too many Ohio State guys an invite and then get them their bus ticket over there from Columbus.
So I think that those are the examples. And Paris Johnson, that's a program setter that you can kind of recruit off of. Tanner McAllister is a guy who, hey, he didn't get an invite to the combine. He's still probably going to get drafted based on pro day. You come here, you're going to get seen. Jerron Cage, I thought, had a really good day today. Teron Vincent had an okay day today despite not getting that combine invite. Tim, I just think those are the stories that tell the tale of how important the pro day is for Ohio State.
Oh, yeah, it's important. And bottom line is some of those guys, for whatever reason, they didn't get an invite, and sometimes that's a stigma that you got to beat. I mean, you've got to top, and then there still may be doubts in like general managers and coaches' minds and scouts' minds about, well, wait a minute, blah blah blah. So hopefully those guys got over that hump a little bit. For example, flip side of that is DeJuan Jones had a tremendous combine, and he didn't work out like you pointed out today. I asked him about it, and he said he's pretty much proven himself. Didn't want to jeopardize getting any kind of injury or anything like that in this regard. He's going to let the hay in the barn sit where it is. He thinks pretty much high first round, maybe second round, based on what he's proven. DeJuan Jones, just like I said about Zach Harrison, his best football is ahead of him. So it is with DeJuan Jones. But another guy that just jumped out to me today is Marvin Harrison Jr. From the standpoint of, I just was sitting there and I was saying to people on the sideline, Ohio State may have the number 1 pick in the draft this year, and they may have the number 1 pick in the draft next year, depending on how things go with CJ. Marvin Harrison Jr., there will be a lot of people here next year. Maybe not, because out of 32 teams, about 26 know they're not going to have a shot at it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So maybe but you understand what I'm saying. And I was asking Ryan Day about that. I mean, I'm writing a story about this for us too. We saw the past, present, and future of Ohio State wide receivers today, with Jackson Smith-Njigba doing what he does, Cooper Kupp with maybe even more talent. That's why I look at at Jackson Smith-Njigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., present, and then Jaden Ballard running some great routes, and especially that last play that CJ's called his favorite pass.
That was a ball now.
But
that was a ball.
It just shows you, like you said a while ago, about the incredible era this is in Ohio State football history. In my opinion, it is, from the passing game standpoint. I'm not stepping out on any kind of limb here or plank. It's the best it's ever been, and it could be even better. This year, who knows? I'm talking about from just an attack standpoint. But it was really a show-off day for Ohio State. One other quickie. I really got into Luke Whippler and Paris Johnson Jr. in their workout when they were doing drill things where they were hitting the pad, where the other guy was holding the pad and stuff. Like I said to both of them, I said it was like a heavyweight fight, and y'all just both agreed not to hit each other in the head. Other than that, and I said what it showed is rarely in a workout like this you see the violence that it takes to play in the National Football League. And I thought these two guys exhibited it in a restricted way, but both of them helped themselves today.
Yeah, a few things. Like for Luke, he said this kind of reinforced, not just the pro day, but the combine, reinforced his decision to come out. It was a bit of a surprise for him to leave early after 2 years starting. People thought he'd be back, but he said that he's very confident in that decision, especially now having gone through these 2 events. And at this point, it's really just a waiting game. That's really for all of these guys. They've shown what they can do, and now it's waiting. The other thing is that all these guys help each other too. I mean, whether it's Luke going through workouts with Paris, there's eyes on Paris, and now there's also eyes on Luke. Whether it's Mitch Rossi trying to find a role in the league, he's kind of a fringe guy at fullback position and tight end position, which is like this H-back role. And
I would have him on my team in some respect. Seriously.
Well, you got all these scouts here, GMs, head coaches. Like, that's an opportunity for someone like that to be found. Whereas if he was at a program where there was maybe one other guy that was being scouted, he might not be seen.
Yeah.
And so that's an opportunity for him. And even someone like Bradley Robinson, right? He's out here as a long snapper. They don't get much attention. But because you're here in this building, and because there was, 118 league representatives here today, you're getting seen, and that's an opportunity. And all you need is one person to say, hey, write that name down.
Yeah.
Watch out for them.
Big day in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. I think we can all agree.
Did we miss anybody of those we were talking here? I mean,
I'm sure we did, but there's
like
another.
A guy that jumped out at me is Kellen Gruenstein. Is that how you pronounce his name? The kid from the club team who had a great workout today. Was invited in and to take part and really stepped up. A guy that tried to walk on at Ohio State maybe a couple of times, didn't get that shot. But there's a guy just looking like. I was talking to him. It's like almost like a Nate Ebner. Just give me a shot on the team, man. I can play special teams. I can do whatever you need. It's like. It's going to be interesting to see who kind of rises that you're not really paying attention to, because when there's all these stars running around, you know what I mean? It kind of blinds you to a lot of the other things going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've seen guys from the D3 level. We've seen guys from the D2 level. No reason a club player can't make it in the NFL.
They were national champions twice.
Yeah. A lot to break down inside the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. We'll be back in here tomorrow. We talked to offensive linemen and defensive linemen of the current Ohio State team as spring practice rolls along here inside the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and at lettermenrow.com. We've got full coverage of Pro Day coming your way, especially for subscribers. Right now, $30 until August. Hell of a deal, fellas. I think everybody should go cash in on that. Come get all that coverage of Pro Day, of spring practice. A lot of news and notes coming out of this one as Ohio State wraps up Pro Day 2023. NFL Draft a month away, I believe, maybe a little bit more than a month away. Again, full coverage of that coming your way from lettermenrow.com. From Andy Backstrom, from the 40-year vet Tim May, I'm just Spencer Holbrook. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you back in this very building tomorrow for full coverage of spring practice.